I'm here. So if I can hear me, that means y'all can hear me. How y'all doing this evening? What's going on, everybody? So this is what I want to do tonight because excuse me, I was torn. To be perfectly honest, I was torn between recording a video and doing a live stream. And I said, how about this? Why don't I do a live stream and record it? And then I don't know. We're gonna see how this works out. But hopefully it works out. What's going on, Denise? What's going on, Natalie? How are y'all? Hey, Janae's House of Beauty. How are you? What's up, Janet? Denise and Janet, thank y'all for being members. Nightbot is here. And what's up, Lewandia Wilson? What's up, sis? Bonne nuit. Sac passe. All right. So this is what we're gonna do tonight, y'all. Tonight, I want to talk to you guys about some of the pitfalls that get made early on when people get started in hoodoo. And it's some of the things that I can't say I wish somebody would have told me because I had that big mama. But I know from listening to you guys, it's hard out here in these hoodoo streets because not everybody has found me. Not everyone has found the global icon and the national treasure. It's right down there. It's right down there. So, and you waste a lot of time. And when I do find someone, and not just me, I mean, I have a big head, but it's not just me, but like anybody that would be considered an elder in hoodoo, um, it's like you have to reteach. And we always wish we'd have gotten to you guys sooner. So here, help me to help y'all by identifying some of the pitfalls that you're going to encounter when you first start with hoodoo. Okay. And pitfall number one, I can't put on the marketeers. Pitfall number one, I put on you guys. And pitfall number one is trying to understand hoodoo from your own viewpoint and not from the viewpoint of the ancestors. For instance, we were having this conversation in Discord, and what I said was when people like, okay, people understand that in hoodoo, we deal with, we uplift, and we work with the ancestors. But for some reason, people only think of two sets of ancestors. They think about the African ancestors and the African ancestors fresh off the boat. And the reason I say this is because I always get comments from, and it's always my younger brothers and sisters, and I do love y'all's fire. And people always say, um, I refuse to, and it's always involved in the Bible. I refuse to believe that my ancestors would practice the religion and use the book of the religion of the oppressor. You know, I understand. I understand. But you have to understand that hoodoo evolved over time. So, yes, we do have African ancestors, and those African ancestors did get fresh off the boat. But hoodoo evolved over generations. See the ancestors that were brought here were practicing different Orisha traditions. They were practicing say well, it wasn't Palo Mayombe at the time. At the time it was just Nganga. They were practicing Vodun. Okay. Hoodoo evolved from an amalgamation between those traditions and Christianity. And to me, it's I don't want to upset anybody by saying to me it's common sense, but it is because when I think of the ancestors being a southern black man, I'm thinking about these ancestors because these are the ones. I mean the ones that are close to like my time instead of like fresh off the boat, because these are the ones who actually made Hoodoo. They did. They came up with it. So, and it always, I can always tell who's from down here because I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, in that if you understand that Hoodoo is black and southern, Jesus just gonna come with it, because or the Bible is just gonna come with it, because shoot, southern black folks, we 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 are biblical folks down here. What can I say? And I'm not saying that you have to be Christian in order to work, work roots. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, if you understand that this is a tradition that venerates and uplifts the ancestors, what's the best way to tick off the ancestors who actually came up with this? What's the best way to tick them off? Start talking about their Jesus and the Bible. Don't do it. So that's the first pitfall, trying to understand things from our perspective and not the perspective of those ancestors. Now, it doesn't just ring true for using the Bible or whatnot. No, a lot of times you guys will fall into the trap of the marketeers who will try to make Hoodoo seem like this really just out there grandiose. Oh my gosh, we gotta draw these big pentagrams and all, and it could not be further from the truth. If you put yourself in the shoes of those ancestors back then, you will understand that Hoodoo was made to be practiced in the shadows, behind the scenes. So when did somebody have time to draw all these great big wonderful things? They didn't. They did not. See, a lot of that stuff was put in by the marketeers in order to catch you and, catch them dollars. So a lot of that can be circumvented by just thinking, okay, what would the ancestors who came up with Hoodoo, what would they have had access to? What would they have done? And it would help you not to get caught up with that stuff. Okay. Now, pitfall number two does come from the marketeers, and I kind of touched on it just then. And that is, see, we have to understand that the marketeers have been around for like 20 years. They've been around for like 20 years. And hold on, I'm about to look it up here. I've looked it up before. I've looked it up before, and I am live streaming. But so, what's up, Brown Sugar? What's up, Queen Leo? What's up, Wancha? How's it going? I don't want y'all to think this is pre-recorded. I'm just focusing on the camera because I am recording it. I'm gonna try to chop it up for a video. But I mean, I'm here. What's up, Chanel? Let's see. All right. So y'all remember these dates for me. The Skeleton Key came out in 2005. And what's the other one? And oh my gosh, Eve's Bayou came out in 1997. Oh my gosh. So and somebody's already getting to like my point. Look, so check this out. When we talk about the marketeers, right? We're talking about mainly one or two companies, to be honest. And I'm not going to call their name. I'm not going to call their names because y'all know who they are. Y'all know who they are. Oh my God. Like these two movies are driving. So think about this. Look, they driving, they in college. One of them graduated and got their degree. Okay, think about this. We Eve's Bayou has been out for 26 years. The Skeleton Key has been out for 18 years. For a lot of people, these two movies were your gateway to Hoodoo. until you watch these movies, and nobody's gonna admit it, but if you want to raise your hand, that's fine. Unt Hoodoo was a Southern black thing, and we just chilled, right? We did our thing. Everybody wanted, would get root work done, but everybody didn't want to be a root worker. But not so much Eve's Bayou, but the skeleton key. The skeleton key really put, say, Hoodoo on the map, unfortunately. Unfortunately. And what happened was the marketeers saw a gold mine. The marketeers saw a gold mine because the marketeers like, wait a minute, they willing to pay money for this stuff? What? And what they did was they scoured like everywhere for for Hoodoo. And they did not have access to us. Now, I'll be honest, there was a couple of brothers and sisters who had rent due that was like, all right, I'll tell you some stuff. But they didn't have access like that. But the marketeers did not let that stop them. They did not. What they did not have knowledge of, they made up. Just they made up. And one of the ways that they made this up was they because they were not I'll be honest, they were not black. They weren't. They weren't even from down here. They're not from the South. So they said, how do I make this more appealing to the masses? Because one thing that they understood how to make money, and you're not going to make money just selling to black folks who done got lonely, or you know what I mean, need a love spell, or ones that need a court case work because you're not gonna make money two, three, four, $5 at a time. No, no, no. See, they wanted to market Hoodoo to the crew that has watched The Craft, to the teenagers full of teen angst and spare change who want to be the cool outcast, even though they're really just weird. But they want to consider themselves the cool outcast, right? So they had to market to them. They had to market to the soccer moms. So what did they do? They made Hoodoo more broad. See, what this is what they did. See, they understand that a lot of people had a knee-jerk reaction to the Bible. So what they did was they said, "Oh no, no, no." See, they took out religion and they added system. They took out religion and added system. See, the word religion has kickback to it, but system is more palatable. So that's what they did. And then when what happens with the system? Because see, you can't go in and rework a religion, but a system, oh, you can kind of work it however you want to, and that's what they told you. Oh, your hoodoo is your hoodoo. Just do whatever you want to with it, right? You don't want the Bible? Don't need it. Get it out of here. Don't need no Bible. No, ancestors, ancestors. Don't worry about it. What you are pale with red hair? Don't worry about it, Seamus. Hoodoo is for you. That is what they did. And then see, when you look at a tradition that was developed by our ancestors to be practiced in silence under threat of persecution, what do you have? Lighting candles quietly, praying softly, or pinching the candles out so that the smoke is not detected by the overseers. See, we do things quickly and get out of there. Hoodoo was spiritual guerrilla warfare, but you cannot sell that because it's not pretty enough. So what they did was they beautified it up. Let's use some pink candles, and let's use some all kinds of stuff, and let's draw these pentagrams on the ground and make it look pretty, and let's add some stuff that has nothing to do with African ancestors. Let's start telling people that, oh well, you should do this on this day because Wednesday is for Mars. That is Mars Day. And could somebody please tell me how my ancestors who came here from Africa somehow manage to not speak the language here or know the custom, but they managed to learn Greek mythology, something that the people who brought them here didn't even understand? Because we talking about some English folks. Tell me how? But people want to walk around now talking about, well, this day is the moon day. And they, of course, added the moon because the moon is spooky and you guys love that. They added the moon and blood for the same reason Hollywood does, to sell tickets. But instead of selling tickets, they wanted to sell hoodoo to you. So they added a bunch of extra steps. Making sense so far? They added a bunch of extra steps. Whenever someone could not figure something out and they were like, huh, well, we need something for that. Hmm, well, that's well, when in doubt, add some blood to it. Stephen King, my favorite author, has this saying whenever he gets stuck or some writer's block, he said, when in doubt, bring on the man with the gun, which means when in doubt and he can't figure something out, Stephen King he'll like a character out of the book. That's why if you've ever read Stephen King, don't get attached to nobody because they might don't make it. What was that song? Rockstar Lifestyle might don't get attached to anybody in the Stephen King book. They might don't make it. Might don't make it. Right. So that's what the marketeers did. They said, listen, when in doubt, add some moon, add a little bit of blood, and somehow make it spooky. Make a doll out of it. So that is how something that is meant to be practiced behind the shed, really quietly, really quickly, somehow turns into a ritual that is supposed to only be done at 3:37 a.m. on a blood moon, standing naked, lighting stuff and dancing around in circle. Throw that in a circle. But instead, that's what you're supposed to be doing now, right? So remember, if you put yourself in the mind of the ancestors, you can see what the marketeers added. You can see what it added.